Well, good evening, everybody. It is now 7 o'clock here. We are on a Tuesday night, and we thought we'd take a little bit of time here to kind of get into the weeds on this next storm system and what we really expect and how that's going to impact all of us here in the days ahead. You know, everything's pretty quiet out there right now. Temperatures are still in the low 30s, right around freezing at Lambert. But I tell you, in about 48 hours from now, this will be a total different perspective. 36 hours, it'll be going downhill, but in 48 hours, totally different perspective here. Flights are coming and going, no big problems tonight. Travel along Interstate 70s rolling along. We're going to see road conditions go down. We're going to see a lot of canceled flights or delayed flights going into Thursday and Friday. And it's not just because of the weather here, but it will be because of the expansive nature of this entire storm system. It is going to be a very large system and have major impacts over the course of the next 2 to 3 days and really into the weekend. So out in O'Fallon, Missouri, Lake St. Louis, 30 degrees right now, 33 in Pacific, in Forest Park, Creve Coeur, Edwardsville and Alton at 32, along with Mascoutah. Kind of broaden out the picture here. Temperatures are mostly in the 30s here, but there is a boundary to our north. Actually, it's kind of sauntered into the area. Not really a big impact at the moment, but you see, as you look to the north here, Des Moines, Omaha, Lincoln, single digits. We'll be looking at high temperatures in that ballpark here Friday afternoon. Okay, so getting there is going to be quite the transition. We had a little bonus sunshine today, so I hope you were able to enjoy that because the clouds are rolling back in. We got into the mid-40s. Areas north of St. Louis, northern Missouri stayed cold all day long and with cloudy skies. Southern Missouri had some spots get close to 50. Uneventful day on Wednesday, but there will be more cloud cover. That swings in here overnight and will last into tomorrow. There'll probably be a little bit of sun poking through the clouds from time to time. Winds are fairly light tomorrow. We get back into the upper 30s. So now let's talk about our alert days here. We'll be in storm alert on Thursday as we look for snow and wind. Big temperature changes. There might even be a little bit of rain early in the morning, but really the focus on Thursday is going to be for the difficult travel, the increasing strong winds, and the potential for some isolated power outages. You know, we're talking winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour with this, and maybe even stronger in a few places. That's enough to bring down some tree branches for sure, so that could cause some scattered power outages. And those winds, as temperatures, look, we go into Thursday night into Friday morning, we drop down to 4 degrees below zero Thursday night, Friday morning. So 6, 7 o'clock Friday morning, we're talking about life-threatening wind chills. And we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. These are the current temperatures tonight. Here we are, 7 o'clock, just after 7 o'clock. It is a Tuesday evening, and you're looking at 20 to 35 degree air temperatures below zero here, up across a good chunk of Canada. Even down to Vancouver, it's 19 degrees right now. Fairbanks is 34. There was a spot, there's a place called Chicken, Alaska, that I think it was 62 degrees below zero was their low temperature this morning. So there is no doubt that this air is incredibly cold, and it's on a beeline for us, and I'm starting to see that play out to the west here as the energy with this system starting to carve out a nice little dip in the jet stream, which disrupts this polar vortex. Usually we like to keep the polar vortex up there, you know, around the poles, but it's been disrupted, and as a result, this is what happens on Thursday. Wednesday night into Thursday, the front's approaching from the north and west. As we get into the early morning hours for the rush hour, you may walk out the door on Thursday morning, especially in the metro area, east and southeast. There might be a couple of sprinkles. It'll be around freezing, maybe 34, 35. You might even see temperatures get close to 40 southeast of St. Louis early in the morning. But once that front comes through, you'll drastically notice the change. Winds turn around, the snow will pick up, and so by lunchtime into the afternoon, we're looking at that period of pretty decent snow. And this will be blown around by winds that will be increasing, 25 to 30, 35 miles per hour. Through the evening hours, that pulls away. The true Arctic air spills in. Think on Friday, we don't have any snow, but we'll have a lot of blowing snow. I mean, we're not talking a lot of accumulation here. We're talking 2, 3, maybe 4 inches in most spots, but the Arctic air is going to be a big problem. So let's do this Weather First Futurecast here, timing it out here locally across the 5 on your side area. So that front's coming through northeast Missouri, mid-Missouri, very early in the morning on Thursday. Out ahead of it, temperatures just above freezing. 36 in Flora. This is 6 a.m. or so. 34 in Shiloh, 32 in Chesterfield. So we might have a little bit of rain at the onset. Once that front comes through and shifts east, and there's also that chance that you'll see some rain showers east and southeast of St. Louis. Once the front comes through, though, temperatures start dropping. It'll take about an hour to 90 minutes for us to drop back into the teens. And you see how Herman, at this point, is already down into the single digits, and that's just at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll probably be around 20 in St. Louis. Now, this is when the snow picks up, too. All right, here's what our problem is. If we have the wrong chemicals on the road and we've melted some snow, once these temperatures go down below 20 degrees, then you get into a flash freeze scenario where you just kind of instantly glaze over things. So that mixture of chemicals that's on the roadway will play an important part of how the evening rush hour stacks up Thursday. I wouldn't want to travel on this Thursday. I mean, let's be honest. We're looking at a period here of 2 to maybe 4 hours where there's pretty good snowfall rates, and that snow's being whipped around, your visibility's down, and the temperatures are dropping back into the single digits. Okay, so that's a recipe for big-time problems. And if we have flash freezing, then you just kind of glaze over the roads, and then the road crews get stuck in traffic too. So I know the road crews, MoDOT and IDOT, are doing their prep now and trying to figure out what to do. Some pre-treatments already happened, which is a good thing, but we'll have to switch over to that calcium chloride and more of that beet juice here as we head into Thursday evening. Now, we also have the bragging rights game going on in downtown St. Louis, Illinois, Mizzou. You know, the snow will be tapering off, the steadier snow, if you will, and pushing east during the evening. The ball game starts at 8 o'clock. It's going to be hard to get into St. Louis, but we're still going to have the winds overnight and into early on Friday. In fact, really all day Friday, the winds are going to howl with this system. So let's break down Thursday specifically, because Thursday is going to be the most complicated day when all the changes are taking place. And that's going to probably be the biggest travel issue. If you have to say there's one time frame where the travel is going to be really difficult, even just going across town, that's going to be Thursday afternoon. So Thursday morning, we should be a little bit above freezing, and the roads may be damp. We're not expecting icy conditions early Thursday morning. But during the morning and heading towards lunchtime, as soon as that Arctic front passes, the temperatures start going down. You see a quick change. If there was any rain, it's going to snow very quickly, and the winds are going to pick up. Then during the afternoon, we're going to have snow and wind, temperatures dropping to around 10 degrees. That's when that potential of a flash freeze will occur. Anything that was wet and not treated with calcium chloride is going to just ice over quickly. And we're still seeing the snow blowing around. As we head into the evening, the winds increase 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. The snow that's falling will taper off, but we'll continue to see blowing snow through the night Thursday night and into Friday morning, which means wind chills will go down to 20 to 30 degrees below zero as we head into the late night hours on Thursday and into early on Friday. So snowfall totals, you know, there's no surprise here. We really don't think there's going to be a lot of variation across the region. There may be some spots as you get down here from Farmington, maybe back towards Potosi, that only get an inch or two. And there may be a few spots that get 3 or 4 off to the north and east. We do think, just based on what we're looking at with the jet stream and the strengthening storm system, there's a lot of dynamics with this system aloft. And we have a jet streak that kind of slips by to our south, which will put southern portions of Illinois from Mount Vernon heading over to the east towards Evansville, put them in an area where you may get just a little extra burst of snow. So that's why we put the 5 inches there in Mount Vernon. But, you know, it doesn't really make any difference what the specific amount of snow is, because it's going to be whipped around. Now, when we look at the estimated snow depth at this point, we're looking back here in Siberia. This is deep snowpack, anything that's in the purple. That includes in Alaska, now over Canada. We're dragging this down closer to St. Louis. So all that Arctic air we showed you earlier that's up there in Canada, that's trying to nudge its way to the south, as it's coming south, it's going over snow. So as it goes over snow, it really does not have the opportunity to get, grab some warmth from the ground anywhere. So that means we'll be below zero with our temperatures early on Friday morning. Plus you take into account those gusty winds, and we're looking at the sustained winds being around 20 to 25 miles per hour. And we're thinking that's going to give us wind chills between 20 and 30 degrees below zero. Most of the day Friday, our wind chills will be at least 10 degrees below zero or colder, because temperatures do not rebound Friday afternoon. As far as the probabilities of snowfall, well, we've kind of ixnayed the 6-inch probability out of there. 5% chance of getting 4 or more inches. But here's where we are. 1, 2, 3 inches. That's pretty high probability across most of the area. And again, the majority of that is going to come later Wednesday morning, right on in, I should say later Thursday morning, right on in to the very early evening hours, and then it pushes away. So we have our winter storm watches in effect. It includes all of our counties, pretty much most of Missouri, a good chunk of Illinois, but all of our counties. This begins as we head into Thursday, very late Wednesday night into Thursday morning to the west and north of St. Louis, and then expanding towards St. Louis during the day Thursday into Thursday night. We already have winter storm warnings here in the pink shaded areas across Iowa and eastern portions of Nebraska, and that's a blizzard warning up there into portions of Minnesota. And there will be near blizzard conditions in northern Missouri and parts of central and northern Illinois. There's no question about that as we head towards Thursday and into Thursday night. Travel is going to be very difficult, if not absolutely impossible, especially north of us where those winds could be even stronger. So look at the area of wind chill warnings now. The warning's kind of this tealish area. That stretches all the way into northern Missouri, western Missouri, down through the Ozarks. It does include Rolla. This is going to start for tomorrow night late into Thursday for us. We have a wind chill watch for the rest of the area stretching over into Illinois, but these wind chill warnings are for wind chills that will be on the order of 25 to maybe 45 below zero in some cases. We're thinking, again, our worst wind chills will probably be 30 to 35, but that's with the sustained winds, not with the gusts. So this is your 7-day forecast. We'll have a storm alert day on Thursday. This is when we're getting our snow. Now, we may keep it a red alert day if we get a wind chill warning on Friday. We may go from our regular weather alert to that's orange, which means it has an impact, to a red impact, which means it's potentially a life-threatening situation and you need to take action. If we're looking at 30 to 35 degree below zero wind chills on Friday morning, that's a big deal. You want to protect your pipes, you want to protect your pets, and you want to protect your people. So people, pipes, and pets, pets don't need to be outside in this kind of cold that's coming for sure. They need to be inside. But you also need to be prepared that, the power might go out for a little bit. Not thinking we're going to have any kind of long-lasting power outages, but in the snow and the wind that's happening Thursday evening, the response from the folks at the power company is going to be a little bit slower. And that Arctic cold is lasting into Saturday. We have high temperatures Saturday around 15. And then as we go into Sunday, Christmas Day will be up to 21. Now, the good news is if you have Christmas Eve services you go to or midnight mass, Christmas Eve probably is going to be relatively quiet. Yes, it's still cold, but the winds Christmas Eve during the evening hours do start to diminish some. It won't be nearly as windy. Now, as we go into next week, there's a little disturbance that comes through Sunday night into Monday that might give a little bit of light snow. Don't see it being a big problem at this point, but the trend will be for this Arctic air to squeeze out of here. And when we talk about this 4 degree below zero temperature here on Friday morning, you've got to go back, way back into, this is December. So usually our coldest air comes in January and February. It doesn't usually get here in December. You go back to 1990, 1989, that's when we're talking about those years where we had brutal cold this time of year, 1983, so it's been a while since we've had that kind of cold air here in the month of December. Usually it waits until February, but it's here certainly ahead of Christmas. And this is just bad timing. Schools get out on Wednesday in a lot of cases, and so we know a lot of people are going to try to travel on Thursday. Again, you know, if we just kind of look at these low temperatures, well, that goes into next week. Never mind. This is the timing on this. If you're trying to get away on Thursday, I'm just going to leave that there. If you're trying to get away on Thursday, you leave in the morning and you go east out Interstate 70. You go southeast down 64. So if you go through southern Indiana, you go down towards Paducah. If you leave in the morning on Thursday out of St. Louis, I think you're going to be fine. Now, if you go down 55, you're going to need to be out at the crack of dawn because the changeover down in Cape Girardeau and even down north of Memphis will be happening during the morning towards lunchtime. That cold Arctic air, man, that cold air is dense and it comes surging in. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind. So if you're traveling south, you need to be on the move very early on Thursday. If you're thinking about going to Kansas City, your option is Wednesday. Your options could improve Friday or Saturday, depending on the amount of blowing snow and depending on how the roads are. But Wednesday night and Thursday are not options to go to Kansas City, to go up to Iowa. Thursday during the day, I don't think I would want to go past Springfield, Illinois if I wasn't leaving early in the morning because it's going to get bad Thursday evening, Thursday night. Now, the airports in O'Hare, Midway, Minneapolis, Detroit's going to be impacted by this storm. Indianapolis is going to be impacted. Kansas City, of course, we are. Des Moines. You know, a lot of planes go through Chicago. There's a lot of flights. So the whole system starting, you know, really Wednesday night into Thursday and through Thursday night and into Friday, the whole air travel system is going to become quite a mess, in addition to the problems that we're dealing with on the roads. So if you can travel, try to do so Wednesday. If you are trying to drive and you're going east and south, you can leave Thursday morning very early and you'll be fine. But otherwise, if you were planning on traveling north or west on Thursday, probably want to rethink that. Better to get there a little later than be stuck on the road with the kind of, you know, wind chills of 20 to 30 degrees below zero, blowing snow and strong winds and all of that. So just be prepared. It's going to be an interesting week, especially an interesting day, starting right from the get-go Thursday morning through the day on Thursday. Of course, we'll keep you updated on 5+. We'll keep you updated on our social media channels too. We've got stories on ksdk.com. We, of course, have our 10 o'clock news tonight and all your newscasts throughout the day, which you can watch anytime. You can stream any of our newscasts at any time whenever you have a chance, 5+. Just one thing you don't want to do is ignore this and not be prepared for it, because it is going to be a problem as we head towards Thursday in particular. Everybody stay safe, try to stay warm, and get as much done as you can on Wednesday.